All right, guys, Trump's 100% tariff trap, Europe's Titanic mistake. Let's dive in and unpack this. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining me here on The Baseline. Hope everybody's having a great day, great night, and a great life. So something is shifting right now. You can feel it even if you can't quite put your finger on it, right? The ground beneath the global economy is moving quietly, inevitably, and most people have no idea what it means for their jobs, their bills, or their future. So here's the headline you clicked on today, right? So Donald Trump is demanding that Europe join the US in slapping 100% tariffs on China and India. And if Europe takes the bait, their industries could sink faster than the Titanic. And here's the kicker to it all. If Europe goes down, you go down with them, because this isn't just about some abstract trade war. This is about your job, your grocery bill, your rent. And everything is tied to a global supply chain that's being strangled in real time. Now, I know what you're thinking, right? Wait, didn't Trump just say tariffs would punish China and not us? Well, I guess that would be the fantasy, right? But the reality is United States consumers pay about 70% of those tariffs. Now, Goldman Sachs said it as plainly as you can. So if your sneakers go up by 10 bucks, 7 of those dollars come straight from your wallet. Now, that's not Beijing footing the bill, that's you paying the extra for the privilege of being told that you're winning. So, you know what I mean by this, right? So if we zoomed out just for a moment, right now, Europe is caught in what I would call like a Twilight Zone of geopolitics. They know they're on the dance floor of a global economy that's on fire. But instead of running for the exits, the G7 is still slow dancing with Washington. Germany's economy contracted last quarter, down 0.03%. And when your bar is already low, that's like tripping over the carpet when you're already crawling. It's not a good look. And yet, Berlin is pointing the finger at China, warning about dependency blackmail. And it's funny how they forgot the United States has them chained to a $750 billion worth of expensive American energy imports. Now that's like blaming your neighbor for stealing apples while your landlord just raised your rent by 300%. And here's the absurdity, right? Europe is sanctioning Russia forever. They've been doing it forever. And they're proud of it. But to replace Russian gas, they've locked themselves into buying overpriced United States LNG. And now Trump says, oh, by the way, punish China and India too. Slap 100% tariffs. And guys, that's like cutting off your lifeboat and then punching holes in the raft. So let me put this as plainly as I can. If Europe follows through, their industries are really going to have a tough time, possibly collapse. I mean, we're talking about cars, chemical, machinery, all depend on cheap Chinese imports. And in the first 5 months of this year alone, China's trade surplus with the EU hit 120 billion. Now, by December, it could top 300 billion. Kill that flow, and European factories shut down their doors. And where do those companies move? Straight to the US. Trump isn't saving Europe. He's strip mining them. And it's not just Europe. United States small businesses are already being hammered. The Chamber of Commerce says tariffs will cost them $200 billion. Now, that's mom and pop shops, diners, suppliers, not faceless corporations. And here's the kicker to it all. Only 13 to 15% of small businesses are raising prices to cover tariffs. The rest, they're eating those costs. So it's like being punched in the gut and smiling so no one notices. But Trump's team isn't stopping there. They're telling United States companies, pull out of China or get punished. Easy to say, harder to do when 1.4 billion Chinese consumers are switching overnight to local brands like Luckin Coffee, which, by the way, just overtook Starbucks in China. Now, that's not just bad news for Frappuccinos. That's a signal of something much deeper. Nationalist boycotts spreading across the BRICS bloc. And today, it's toothpaste in India. Tomorrow, it's going to be tech, energy, and automobiles. And don't forget the boomerang effect here. Canada, America's polite neighbor, who's usually just shrugs and apologizes, is furious. In June, Canadian travel to the United States collapsed by 33% year over year. That's 3 million fewer trips. That's billions lost in tourism dollars. Now, you think diners in Buffalo, tour guides in Montana, and hotels in Florida feel protected by tariffs? No. They're watching Canadian wallets stay north of the border. Now, here's the bigger game. This isn't just about punishing China. It's about weakening the euro. Now, right now, the euro is climbing back towards $1.20 against the dollar because the Fed cut rates. Now, strong euro equals cheaper imports, a lifeline for Europe. But for Trump, a strong euro makes the dollar look weak. So what's the strategy here? Force Europe into an economic crisis, hammer their exports, tank investor confidence, and surprise, the euro starts to plunge. Dollar looks strong again. Now, it's not a plan. It's financial sabotage dressed up as patriotism. And yet, here's the scary part. Europe might actually fall for it. Vanity is powerful bait, man. Join us to punish Russia, punish China, punish India. It's seductive, right? Sounds like solidarity, but it's a suicide pact. If Europe slaps 100% tariffs, BRICS won't blink. They'll tighten ties, sell each other cheap oil, and move faster forward towards de-dollarization. And Europe, they'll be standing outside the BRICS club with an empty wallet and no leverage. So here's the question, guys. How much longer can this game go on before the consumption collapse hits home? Because make no mistake, it will hit home. Not in the boardrooms, not in the White House, but in your living room. Your bills, your grocery, your job security. And when it comes, the politicians who sold you this fantasy will be nowhere to be found. But here's where we pivot, right? Because outrage is easy, but clarity is power. And you right now are seeing what most people miss. You're connecting the dots between German factories, United States tariffs, Canadian tourists, Chinese consumers, and your own paycheck. That makes you dangerous because once you see the game, you can't be played. And that's a great place to be. So let's leave it here for now. Yes, Europe is dancing on a burning floor. Yes, the United States is pushing a Titanic level mistake. But because you see the trap, you're already ahead of 90% of people. And when the collapse does come, knowledge is the only life raft that's going to matter. Stay sharp, stay questioning, guys. And as always, smash that like button and drop your comments and thoughts in the section below. I read all of them. I answer them all back. Let me know. Do I have this all right? Do I have it all wrong? Your opinion matters to me. All right. We'll catch you on the next round of the baseline, guys. Thank you so much for joining me. Cheers, everybody.